I didn't think that the year would go this way. Hey y'all, in this video, I'm gonna take a look back and review and recap our pre-K / kindergarten grade year with my youngest daughter. Let's get into it. Alright, first of all, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for clicking that play button for the very first time. I hope that you'll stick around and join the fun. My name is Kaela. I'm a second-generation homeschool mom to two girls age 7 and 4 in Texas, and this is Ode to Abode, a place where I love to talk about home education, homemaking, and parenthood. If you love those things too, well, you're at the right place. So go ahead and click that subscribe button below, click that notification bell, and that way you'll be one of the first to know when I make a new video. Okay, so my last video was a year-end recap of my oldest daughter's first grade year. So now we're gonna do a recap video of my youngest daughter's school year. In August of 2020, when we started our school year, my youngest daughter was not yet 4, so she was still 3. I had no intention of having a formal curriculum for her. I didn't have a plan or a structure of what our year was gonna look like because I was planning on doing the same thing with her that I had done with my oldest daughter, which is kind of delay formal lessons and formal use of curriculum until first grade. I knew that we would, practice numbers and letters and colors and all of that fun pre-K stuff. We had already been doing that. We had already started doing that. And I felt really confident in the fact that we would just kind of continue what we were doing. We would continue with that natural, organic, child-led, interest-led, play-based learning, and that she didn't need a curriculum. She didn't need a plan because she was not even 4 yet. I don't want to knock anyone who does pre-K curriculum or does formal lessons with their 2-year-old or their 3-year-old or their 4-year-old. Every child is different, and you have to go off of what you know of your child and what you know of your family to be able to decide when to start, or if you ever start, formal or structured school time, structured learning. And boy, does that lesson come through loud and clear in this video. Because despite the fact that I didn't think we needed a plan, my daughter had different ideas. In August and in September, as she's seeing her older sister get to sit down and use all of these beautiful workbooks and these new manipulatives and use all of these wonderful resources, my youngest daughter is like, I'm not gonna just sit here and wait. I want this right now. I want to start now. She made that message perfectly clear to me. She was asking, where are my math books? Where are my school books? I want to do school too, Mom. I was like, baby, you're still learning. You learn every day. You're learning your colors and your letters and your numbers. But that wasn't enough for her. She wanted to be involved. She wanted her own curriculum. She wanted her own books. She wanted to do school. Of course, I had to listen to her. The first thing that I started with her was Singapore Dimensions Math. And we started level K because that's what I already had on hand. In November, she turned 4. So I guess, she would be at that pre-K age. Technically, here in Texas, they don't start kindergarten until they're 5. I know that is maybe a little different in other places. But here, pre-K is at 4, kinder is at 5, first grade is at 6. So she would technically be a preschooler, but this was kindergarten math. So this was technically a year ahead of where she should have been. And when I look back, I regret it a little bit. I wish that I would have just ordered her the pre-K books for Singapore Dimensions Math. When we started with KA, she was getting it easily. It wasn't challenging for her. And so I thought, well, I don't need to buy the pre-K books because she's getting the kindergarten content just fine. She's understanding it. She's grasping it. She was enjoying it. Even the times where there was a little bit of a challenge or some new information, she was loving it. She was eating it up. So we stuck with it. And she finished all of KA this past school year. I didn't want to push her. I didn't want to overwhelm her. So we took our time. Technically, that means that she only finished one semester of math because the way that Singapore Dimensions works is you need the A level and the B level to complete a whole grade. But I was perfectly fine with her finishing just level KA for this whole past school year because, again, it was a little bit ahead of where she really could have started or should have started. At the end of the school year, in May, she started KB. So it literally took her from October to May to finish the one semester, the KA. And then in May, she started KB. She is starting to hit some concepts that are more challenging for her and that are a little bit more difficult. And so now I kind of see the value in, I could have started at pre-K level and she would have had a little bit more time to get all of that foundation knowledge, and then she probably wouldn't be so challenged with this kindergarten math content if she were 5. But that's okay because my plan right now is to just keep her with KB and to really take our time with it. She will turn 5 this November, and so I foresee that we will take probably all of the fall and maybe a little bit into winter to finish KB. And then if she's ready to start with first grade Singapore Dimensions Math, great. And if she's not, that's going to be fine too. We can take our time with KB. We can do lots of review. I'm totally fine with stretching that out and giving her as much time as she needs to really grasp and master all of the concepts that are presented there. So once we started with the formal math, she was showing interest in other things that her sister was doing. So she would sit in with us. She was involved. She was right next to sister. I didn't have like any assignments for her, but if she wanted to do something, if she wanted to draw a picture, that's great. We would do that. And so she has a whole binder with a lot of things that she has drawn or painted or worked on right along with her sister's lessons. So simply by being with us, she picked up a lot of art study, music, history, geography, science, all of these things. She was just there for it. She was along for the ride and she learned a lot of things along the way. And that was really special. I'm really pleased that we were able to do a lot of family style learning this past school year. It really taught me that that is where our heart is. That is what we're going to love. And it showed me that that's an important thing to keep including in our plans as we go throughout this journey into higher grade levels. I definitely want to make sure that I keep looking for ways to include family style learning, group subjects, things that we can all do together, because my girls are very close. They are best friends and they learn really well together. So why wouldn't I want to do that? Around the end of 2020, I decided to try out reading lessons with her. I felt like she was showing signs of interest and readiness, and we tried the reading program that I had used for my oldest, which was Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. She got maybe 10 or 11 lessons in, and it became very clear that this was not going to be a good fit for her. We no longer use that program in our homeschool because it wasn't the best fit for either of my girls, even though my oldest did finish it completely. I was already looking at All About Reading for my oldest. They have a pre-reader level, so I thought, why not try it? This is a perfect opportunity. We've really enjoyed All About Reading, the pre-reader level. She did finish almost the entire level. I think we have, I don't know, maybe like 5 more lessons in that level, and it was a huge hit. I have 0 complaints about it. Whether or not she will be ready to start level 1 with All About Reading, I'm not quite sure yet. We might need a little bit more review and practice, but we also have until August before our next school year starts, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of months with that. So that's it. Those are the 2 main things that we used for her pre-K year: math and reading lessons. She did a lot of fun stuff. We did a lot of arts. We did a lot of crafts. All of those subjects that she did with her sister, but the things that were just for her, the curriculum that I had picked just for her that we completed or completed almost all of, were with Singapore Dimensions Math and with All About Reading, the pre-reader level. Looking back on this pre-K/kindergarten school year just makes me smile, because it's not at all what I planned for. It's not at all what I envisioned. I didn't think that the year would go this way. And it was so amazing the way that it went. My 4-year-old taught me some very big lessons this past school year. They were kind of things that I feel like I already knew in theory. Every child is different, and you know, each kid is going to have different needs, and they're going to learn things at different times. It's so easy to say that, and I believe it and I know it, but now I've actually experienced it, because I got to see my youngest be so different from her older sister, and I got to see firsthand how to be flexible, how to adapt, and how to work with your child. It was just a really awesome experience. It was an awesome lesson to learn. Some of us, including myself, have found value in delaying formal learning. And it can be easy for us to tell other moms when they are asking for suggestions for what to do during the preschool years. It can be easy for us to say, you know, let them play and read lots of books and spend time outside, and, you know, the natural learning, the child-led learning will happen. And I still believe that. It's 100% true that there is value in that approach to the preschool years. I handled it that way with my oldest. It went beautifully. She learned a ton. I have no regrets. But I also think it's so important for us to acknowledge that that will not be the best approach for every family or for every kid. There are kids who are ready for more formal learning at a young age. There are families and moms who are craving that structure even when their kids are really little. There are kids like my daughter who are going to see their older siblings do formal learning and formal school time, and they're going to want in on that action, and that is fantastic. So I think that we all need to be very careful that we don't make blanket statements and generalizations and say, you don't need a preschool curriculum, like just let your kid play. There's total validity to that approach. But there's also validity to having more structured learning, having a plan, having a curriculum for the preschool years. There's not one right way and one wrong way. There are tons of right ways, and it really is going to depend on your family, but most of all, it's going to depend on your individual child. And if you have multiple kids, don't expect them to all be the same, because they probably won't be. It was a wonderful year. It was a wonderful year full of learning, especially for me. So now's the sappy part. To my sweet 4-year-old, Margaret, if you ever watch this someday, your pre-K year has been so much fun, and you are such an amazing kid. You challenge me, you teach me new things, and I love how much you love learning. So thank you so much for a wonderful pre-K year. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I would love to hear from you. How did your school year go? I'd love to hear about your individual kids. What were some of the highlights of each of their school years? Please let me know in the comments. I am so excited to start 2nd grade and official kindergarten this upcoming school year, and that's all I got. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up. I will see y'all in the next one. Happy homeschooling.